Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope you've been doing great. I'm doing quite alright, if I may say so myself, as we're nearing the end of December and nearing the first full month of monk mode. It's been honestly a great month. And while I have learned a lot of things, there's one specific thing that has come to me, especially more recently. And I've noticed that it has made the most amount of difference in mostly the amount of stress that you tend to feel whenever you think about social media, having a certain image and people online and so on and so on. So today we're going to speak exactly about that, because I think the big issue that a lot of people are having is that they don't keep their life private enough. And that's the point that I want to get across today: to keep your life private. This does not mean that you should never be sharing anything. This does not mean that you should be pretty much like trying to act mysterious or pretending to be mysterious. Like, get the cringe shit out of my face. The point that I'm trying to make today is that whenever you're hanging out with people, whenever you're going on dates, whenever you're trying to create a certain social media page, whenever you're trying to do anything, really, there's certain things, there's actually a lot of things that you shouldn't be saying to people. So, for example, I see this very often, and especially on my social media, from certain people, where they start to post about all kinds of stuff. They have to let everyone know about everything in their life. And I'm like, dude, how do you actually feel about the fact that pretty much everyone knows everything about you? Because I think there is a big difference between being an open book, where people, if they're willing to ask you and they ask you about a certain question, you have no problem replying and letting them know about your life in certain cases. But if you're the one telling everything to everyone when no one particularly gives a fuck about it in the first place, I don't think that at the end of the day it goes to benefits a lot on you. Because, you know, I've started to notice this with certain people even when I'm at work, and there's this one specific person. I won't say names. I doubt they even know that I have a channel, but to be honest, I won't get specific into it. But because of one singular thing, I ended up getting to know that she had a certain issue and she was going to the hospital and she had to take meds, and she had issues with her boyfriend, and she had this and that, and she couldn't work night shifts and so many other things in the span of 5 minutes. And I'm like, yes, but when did I ask you for all of this? And the point that I want to get across to you when I say that you should try your best to keep your life private, again, it's not that you should never share things with people. For example, if you have a very good friend, if you have a partner, if you have a very good family member, you know, I think with certain people you should be able to open up about your small wins, your big wins, even about things that you're struggling with, or perhaps about something new that happened in your day. I'm not saying that you should not be doing that. Quite the opposite. If you have that one person or those few people in your life that you can really have in your close circle, and you know that you can trust them, sure, go and open up about your shit. That's not the issue that I'm saying here. The actual problem comes with oversharing, because first of all, whenever, especially on social media, you tend to share too many things with pretty much everyone that follows you, eventually that leads you to feeling sort of stressed out about your self-image that you have created for yourself. And funnily enough, while at first it might seem liberating, sharing a lot of things with people, eventually it becomes a prison of your own making, because by saying too much, people know too much about you. And first things first, people like to talk shit. People like to talk shit behind people's backs, and that's normal. Even the people that you're not aware of, they do it more often than you think, and that's just life. So in order to avoid that, just keep your life private. Don't really go saying everything to anyone, because most of the people in your life don't even need to know about the issues that you have, the small wins, the things that you're struggling with. It's like, another thing that I think is really important, which is not the thing that you notice at first, but you start to notice it after quite some time. For example, I haven't posted anything on Instagram and I haven't really used it too much for the past month. And you know what's one thing that I noticed is that I really stopped seeking validation, in the sense of posting perhaps pictures of my body or my physique to get validation from people, or posting a funny meme or anything of that sort. Allowing yourself to keep your life private, especially on social media, but even in person, which I think they kind of correlate together in a weird way, because when you start doing it in one place, you also start doing it in the other place. So if you start keeping your life private on social media, eventually you'll start to keep it private in person, or vice versa. But the thing that I noticed is that I really stopped seeking validation from people. I'm like, I know, not that I know my worth, because that's not the point that I'm trying to make, but it's like, I know the kind of person that I am. I know the kind of things that I do, and I know, in a sense, my worth, my self-worth comes from the things that I do in private. I don't have to share it with the people to know how many miles I've run. I don't have to share it with the people how much I can bench press, how much I can lift, how much I work out, how much I work on my own things. And you know, I don't think that there is anything wrong with sharing those kinds of things there, especially on social media. The problem comes that I think at that point you're not even doing it for yourself anymore. If everything that you do in your day-to-day life is because you want to say to someone, hey look, I've done this thing here, hey look, I can do this thing here, hey look, I've ran this amount of time, like at that point there, you're not even doing it for yourself anymore, you're just doing it for the applause at the end. And I don't think that that's really the way to go, because the amount of reward that you get from that specific action that you did basically is correlated to how big is the applause and how long does the applause last at the end for. And you know, it doesn't particularly seem like a good way, to me at least, to calculate how good I'm doing in life, just because of some other people are appreciating, validating me, or giving me an applause at the end to say like, hey, well done. Like, I don't need the well done applause at the end. I'm just like, I know I did well. I know what the fuck I'm doing with my own life. So yeah. So yeah, this is a very simple video, just to keep your life private, because the majority of the people really do not need to know everything that you do, especially even if you're going on dates and all kinds of shit. People don't need to know that much about you, and you probably are oversharing because you're seeking some kind of validation, or to say something that's gonna stuck with people, and you're like, aha, there he is. Anyway, with that said, I hope you found the video helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. There's other links in the description if you want to follow me elsewhere, and I'll see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye-bye.